What's up, y'all? My name is Alan Sheriff, aka Alan the Sheriff of all things innovative, and this is the ATS Podcast. Here on the ATS Podcast, we talk about all things science, technology, and psychology related, and it's my hope that I'm making the world a better place, one new episode at a time. Quick updates, make sure you go to alanthesheriff.com and check out some of my Apex merch. And also don't forget to hit some of those donation links. Remember that 50% of every single thing that I make goes to science, technology, and climate change initiatives. So remember, help me, help you make the world a better place. Everybody, please welcome the next guest on the ATS Podcast. It is the great and mystical and wonderful Johnathan Brand. How you doing, man? Let everybody know how you feeling.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Alan Sheriff. What a great pleasure to be here this morning with you and all of you guys to celebrate this great episode. And I'm happy to be here this morning.
Awesome, man. We're all happy to have you. Well, let's not dilly-dally. Let's go ahead and get on to the first article. The first subject is science. We both read an article from Futurism, and it talks about a company by the name of GoSun that's created a portable solar light called the Solar Lamp 50. Now, it's important to note here that solar lamps have been a challenge, given that most of them have included ineffective panels, bad quality batteries, or that the lamps simply haven't risen to various occasions. Now, the article points out that the Solar Lamp 50 not only has two different variations of light brightness, but it only needs one full day of light to recharge and can shine for up to 6 hours. It's also resistant to water and dust and is easy to carry around. GoSun has even been working with dozens of nonprofit organizations and providing discounts to their solar products for communities in need. Now, nobody asked me why the heck they called that, why they put the 50 at the end of this name. I have no idea. Maybe they got an endorsement from 50 Cent or something. I don't know. But that's up to the public to figure out. I have no idea. I don't know. I'll probably get a statement from the CEO later. But yeah, what do you think about this product, John? Do you think this is something that you would buy?
You know, if I would buy it, I would just kind of have it outside my yard to kind of scare off whatever deer, intruder, burglar tried to come into my house. Because, I have some dogs around me. So, they're an awesome, alarm. But that's, can be a definitely cool, energy efficient, really, addition to have outside, honestly.
Definitely, man. Definitely. I mean, I think the idea itself would also be enough to scare off burglars. It'd be like, not only is this solar lamp cordless, but it can work based on the sun. So,
exactly.
Boo, get off my lawn. I can recharge it later and put it somewhere in the middle of the woods if I have to keep all you weirdos away. But nah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I definitely think I'll buy something like this too. I mean, I don't know. When I was reading about this product, I was thinking about that one episode of SpongeBob, right? Where the sea bear would continue to attack Squidward. So my opinion, given that it's water resistant, I would probably advise nobody to go into the ocean with this thing. You don't want to attract any sea bears. That'll just be devastating for you. This will not be a good investment. Please be very careful. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. It could be very devastating to everyone. But now, on a serious note, man, I think this product is great. I think that this could be really great for a lot of communities, given that some communities may not have access to light power sources such as these. So products like these, when you go into these communities, they can use these rechargeable lights at night so that people can be able to get their work done in schools and whatnot. You know what I mean? I also think that this product could be really good, in the event of power outages. So if you leave this solar lamp up, and recharging during the day, and then you bring it into communities that have suffered power outages, obviously it'll work for up to 6 hours at night. So it'll give the crews enough time to figure out it'll give the crews the light that they need to be able to get their work done and such. And yeah, overall, just, communities that are very much in need. Obviously, I'm not going to lie. The first thing that came to my head also when I was thinking about this technology was the fact that I thought to myself in a stupid way, how in the world is this thing going to work at night? Because that's the thing that always comes to a lot of stupid people. Say, I'm not saying it's stupid, man. I'm not saying I'm stupid. It could just be a very stupid question. But I was thinking, how is this thing gonna work at night? If it needs the sun, and it needs the light in the day to work. But then I realized it was rechargeable. That's what made it so
I mean,
hilarious.
like you would have to have somewhere, a place to like put the light outside, because otherwise you're gonna have to charge it from a light inside your house. So you're
Uh-huh.
like using the energy of a light inside your own like room, like my room, to charge up the light, and
Hmm.
then like, okay, what's the energy efficient? And like you said, what if you live in a community out there in the world that doesn't have a resource for electricity? Then you know, yeah,
I was
it
thinking
won't
the
work.
exact same thing. Like, how's efficiency gonna play a role here? Like, what if your light like runs out of battery? Like, would you recharge it with another solar lamp? Like, and how much energy would you get out of that? Like, it's just like, just imagine someone pitching that to you, like in their office, if they're trying to sell you a solar lamp. Like, yeah, like, we're yeah, this lamp is so efficient and it's cool, but at the same time, if it runs out of power, you can just buy another solar lamp and then recharge it with that one, and then recharge that one with that one, and then
I used to work for like a DJ and lighting company, and the way it works, so it kind of looks a lot like these lamps, and we call them an uplight.
mm-hmm.
And what it does is like you have what's called a master and a slave.
Mm,
Um, so you program the master to kind of show, okay, I just wanted blue, or I just wanted green, whatever, right?
mm,
So you program it with uh, like a few couple buttons on the light, and then it'll send the information and the signal to the next light near
mm.
it. So essentially, what you're saying is right. Like if you have only one lamp indoors, then you have to kind of figure out a way. Okay, how am I going to transfer energy to it
Mm.
and tell it what to do? So
Exactly, exactly. Well,
yeah,
we all know that this invention is really going to come in handy. I think it's
mm,
awesome. I definitely think it's going to change a lot of communities. All right, guys, let's go on to the next subject. The next subject is technology, and we both read an article from Futurism, and it talks about an artificial intelligence system that's been developed to better diagnose Black patients based on X-rays and self-reported pain. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, Alan. Why don't you just leave race out of this? Like this technology could be used to help better diagnose all patients. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think people understand the history between the Black community and the healthcare industry. I mean, if you look at the Tuskegee syphilis study, or you look at the legacy of Henrietta Lacks, or if you look at the evil experiments from, J. Marion Sims, a lot of people would understand why the Black community has basic distrust in the healthcare industry. So I say that just to say this. The fact of the matter is, I want to bring light to technologies like these, because this technology was inspired by the fact that, multiple scientists and researchers from these universities have recognized that there is this racial disparity in society, and that these technologies need to be able to work for all of us, not just one community. They need to be able to work for all of us. So we need to be able to take that into consideration. And I spoke about this the other day with regards to racial bias that was found in DALL-E's artificial intelligence system. So yeah, let's continue to touch on technologies such as these so people understand the bigger problems at hand. This article talks about an artificial intelligence system that has the ability to spot issues based on patients' complaints rather than doctors' assessments, therefore cutting the biases entirely out of the equation. The algorithm outperformed doctors when it came to diagnosing and explaining knee pain in Black patients. And also one of the doctors from an associate dean, I'm not sure if he was involved in the study, but he basically said, and I quote, "This sends a signal to radiologists and other doctors that we may need to reevaluate our current strategies." Now, I guess I'll go first on this, Jonathan, and then I'll get your input. Look, man, like if this doesn't make doctors feel like they need to change their ways and try to and keep themselves from becoming even more racist, like I don't know what will. Like literally, just imagine a doctor walking into the lunchroom, and their boss is waiting there for them with their hand on top of the coffee machine, and their boss says, "Hey, so Jim, I noticed that you've been selecting the white coffee cups more often than you've been selecting the Black coffee cups. Do we have a problem here?" I think that's a major indicator that you
Yeah.
might be racist. And you just have the
God.
doctor say, there's no implicit bias. There's no implicit bias. I promise. You're like, oh, don't worry. I know there's no implicit bias. Otherwise,
Mhm.
you're out of here. You're sacked. You're done. You're bankrupt. You're through.
Yep.
So make sure you do the right thing next time. Make sure
Yeah.
you do the right thing. He'll probably say to himself. Phew. So yeah, if this doesn't inspire doctors to do better, I don't know what will. What did you think about this, Johnathan, when you first saw it?
Well, first off, I'd like to point out that during the pandemic, I can bring like my own example and kind of like refer to a news article I saw or a news show I saw on TV. A couple months back. Unfortunately, a doctor from Indiana, I think it was Indiana, she worked in a hospital and she contracted COVID. And because she was a person of color, um, she got the COVID, and unfortunately, she didn't survive that. And it was because of the fact that the doctor there probably came from a racist narrative, if you will, and they were like, we're not going to treat you. And even though she's a doctor at that hospital, I mean, she suffered that racism, and unfortunately, I think she passed away from COVID. But in relate to this, I think this is a great way for when they're saying here to have like an artificial intelligence and AI. The AI wouldn't know, essentially, if you program it in such a way to say, okay, this is just a human being, and let's just help that person. I believe that you're canceling out all the bias altogether, no matter race, gender, religion, color of the skin. And I think it's great. I think it'll going to solve a lot of issues like that. So
most definitely, man. Most definitely. Yeah. I think it's really important for people to understand that, some doctors, or people, watching this or hearing about technology like this may say to themselves, oh, well, I'm not being racist. You know what I mean? Like, it's not my fault. But the fact of the matter is there will always be this type of racial bias, this implicit bias that a lot of people don't recognize. And that still plays a part in how most Black patients end up getting diagnosed. I mean, we see these tropes all the time, all throughout society. You have a Black patient coming in, and when doctors compare them to white patients, there's this trope that Black people can handle everything, and that they're invulnerable and penetrable. They can deal with a lot of stuff that white people to have to deal with. And the fact of the matter is, it's not true. We're human beings. We're all human beings. We're all the same. We all essentially deal with the exact same problems. So it's not fair to diagnose an individual in an unfair way. You shouldn't disregard any of their complaints just because of the color of their skin or the racial bias that you might have about that individual. And the fact of the matter is, that's all it really comes down to, is recognizing that there's racial bias. And I think this technology is going to help change the world. The next subject is psychology, ladies and gentlemen, and we both read another article from Futurism. Now, this article talks about a company called Valve that's creating a brain-computer interface headset that'll give people the ability to not only edit what you see, but what you feel when you have it on as well. Oh, this one's going to be a doozy. All right, so Valve, the company, is basically collaborating with OpenBCI, a biosensor hardware company, to help make this project open source. This headset could also have many potential positives, such as removing unwanted feelings or helping individuals sleep at night. However, some of the negative effects could include security concerns, such as people getting their brains hacked through the headset. Imagine that. And basically, and you can force unwanted experiences on them. All right, John, what'd you think, man? Did this make you feel optimistic?
Yeah, optimistic, yeah. Uncertain, yeah. Also,
I felt the exact same.
I don't want this hand to that's going over here now. What's going over there?
Right?
Because I feel like it's can be really good as far as like, being able to, like they said here in the article, our ability to create experiences in people's brain. But again, you kind of like allowing companies to invade your own personal space,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and essentially they could literally almost, I guess, see what what you're thinking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, again, it's kind of like, like how you have personal information on your computer, you know, and you're saying, well, should I allow them, or should I block them, to
Mm-hmm.
see where the location is, and Google kind of like tracking you to the same thing. If, you know, BCI, it's gonna, you're gonna allow them to enter now your brain, they could literally monitor you every point of the day.
It's so freaky, man. And I think I read somewhere in the article about how the CEO said, yeah, imagine a situation where a Russian hacker, could hack into someone's brain while they're wearing this headset, and that they could have someone running naked through a forest for the rest of their life in their head. Like,
Oh my
imagine
God.
like, if that doesn't terrify you, I don't know what will, man. Like that I don't know if I could deal with that. And that's exactly why I felt kind of iffy about this when I first came upon this
Mm-hmm.
article, because it was really interesting. But at the same time, I was thinking to myself, I don't know if I would want someone to get into my head like this. Like, yeah,
Mm,
if you want to help people with anxiety, and yes, if you want to make sure that the technology is extremely safe, and that you put regulations on companies
mm-hmm.
that are you know um, probably selling this headset, just make sure that you're doing it in the most safe way possible. Like, I was thinking to myself,
Absolutely.
man, I really hope that I'm not sleeping in my bed one day when this technology has been created and one of my ex-girlfriends comes into my bedroom and forces this headset on my head and, and that's if they're still in love with me. But if
Oh
they're,
my
I doubt they're
God.
in love with me. But if they're still in love with me and they force this headset on my head and they force me to have these emotions, these feelings towards them that I don't want, that's gonna drive me crazy. It's like, why
It
won't
is.
you love
It's
me?
like,
It's
yeah.
like, we broke up for a reason. Like, I don't, like, I don't want to deal with any of that, man. I don't want to be forced into that kind of situation. I doubt they still love me, but it'll be very frowned upon if something like this were to
Mm.
happen. I'm suing everyone. I'm
And
suing everyone.
I think for the viewers, whoever is going to watch this episode, and they're like want to get a better kind of a understanding, uh, especially specifically about this article about the brain interface, watch Westworld. I highly recommend, because this is totally kind of related to human robotics kind of
Mm,
thing.
mm.
And have you watched the show? Have you
Nah, I
seen it?
haven't, but I'm definitely gonna check it out. It sounds interesting.
Oh my God! So they literally have a tablet that controlled the characters.
Mm,
Okay, like they literally have like a tablet that you have at home, like an
uh-huh.
iPad, and like, oh, let's make this guy a little angrier. Well, like let's
Oh
give this
no.
guy a little more love, or something like that. And this is exactly
Yeah.
what you were saying about your girlfriend. And I'm like, imagine that we will be a world down the line in the future, starting now, that we will literally be controlled as zombies
Mm.
by these high tech companies.
It's scary, man. It's scary.
It
I
is.
was literally
It's honestly
thinking, yo,
scary.
this is the mark of this could mean the next generation of zombies. Like the government would control everybody if they gained access to
Oh
this
my God.
technology, man. Like, it's scary when you think about it. We're we're
Mm,
we're 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 not sure what to expect out of this technology. All we got to make sure is that we be safe with it, and that it works to the benefit of everyone, man. Let's
hmm
let's 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 just be careful with some of this stuff. Anyway, guys,
I
that
hope
was the
so.
last article. Concluding thoughts: yeah, don't be a racist doctor. You do not want to be a racist doctor. Yeah, being a racist doctor is very bad. And if you want to, there are many other ways to express your anger at communities of color, and one of them could be selecting white coffee cups over black coffee cups as soon as you're exiting the lunchroom of a KKK rally. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for being on the show, Jonathan. I really appreciate it, man. Tell everybody a little bit about where they can find you.
So currently, I'm still working on essentially a YouTube channel and a website, but you are more than welcome to follow me on my Instagram, which I'm highly active at Johansen 2004. So it's JOHANSEN 2004. And then I started my actually JB Media page
Nice.
on Facebook. So it's JB Media Digital Communication. So just type it up on Facebook. I started uploading some content on there, and the same name. If you want to look me up on YouTube, I have a bunch of videos I've uploaded on there as well, from different content I've created throughout the years from school and up until the professional life. So come check me out.
Awesome, awesome, man. And it was really awesome to have you on. I really enjoyed talking to you again.
My pleasure.
We got to do this again, man. Like, this was awesome.
Absolutely. I'm
awesome.
totally down.
All right, awesome. Thanks again for having you on. And thanks so much, guys, for tuning in to the ATS podcast. I really appreciate it. Remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, that comment, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. And also, if you're watching this on any of my podcast hosting sites, remember to hit that subscribe or follow button. Really appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will see you guys on the next episode of the ATS podcast. Ah!